save me your fake concern, Ms. Markle. Given your own father has had his leg removed, is in a foreign hospital, and you couldn't be bothered to get on a plane, but indeed, you couldn't have been bothered to pick up the phone. And I'm not surprised that your brother, Thomas Markle Jr., is completely outraged by the way that you have behaved.
Kevin, take the titles away of these two ingrates, of these two idiots. Meghan Markle can't find a steamer to save her life. I'm sick of looking at Harry's bald spot. Who are you there to represent other than yourself? You are the two most entitled, self-obsessed.
Thomas Markle is 81 years old. One day his foot turned blue, then darker, then black. Doctors didn't hesitate. They told his son the truth straight to his face. This was life or death. There was no treatment left, no delay possible, no miracle waiting around the corner. The leg had to be amputated immediately to save him.
Meghan, you should be ashamed of yourself to show your face in public.
It's one of those extraordinary moments that will define Prince Harry and Meghan Markle in the same way that going ahead with the Oprah Winfrey interview while Prince Philip was dying in hospital literally did. Overnight, Thomas Markle was battling in surgery for his life in the Philippines.
This all unfolded in December, fast and brutal. The kind of medical emergency that changes a family forever in a matter of hours. Today, right now, Thomas Markle is in a hospital in the Philippines fighting through painful rehabilitation, learning how to balance again, learning how to stand again, learning how to walk with a prosthetic leg, largely on his own. Every step is new. Every movement is work. Every day is a reminder of what he survived. And while that was happening, something else played out thousands of miles away. This week, his daughter arrived in Jordan, walked into a hospital room, sat beside a 14-year-old patient she had never met before, gently held the girl's hand, and allowed photographers to document the entire moment.
Meghan Markle's fake royal tour of the Middle East just got a hell of a lot worse. Not only are there Hamas connections, she is being slammed for the way that she dealt with this amputee girl, given that her own father is currently going through the process of being fitted for a prosthetic leg in the Philippines, and she hasn't been in touch with him at all.
Cameras flashed, headlines appeared, images spread everywhere almost instantly. That contrast, an elderly father recovering from a life-saving amputation while a highly public hospital visit unfolded abroad, became the center of conversation overnight. Even observers in Jordan noticed the timing, and many believe that Queen Rania of Jordan was fully aware of how closely people were watching the situation.
All you do is jeopardize the monarchy, the real members of the British royal family. When you go do these trips, you don't do any of your due diligence. You end up at places associated with, a certified terrorist organization.
She loves that because anything Harry, or rather William and Kate, does, they can do better. So William was in the Middle East only 2 weeks ago. Suddenly, Harry and Meghan are in the Middle East.
Let's look at the timeline because the sequence of events tells its own story. December 2nd, 2025, Thomas Markle Sr., 81 years old, living quietly in the Philippines, suddenly becomes seriously ill. His son, Thomas Jr., rushes him to the hospital. Doctors run scans. The diagnosis comes back shocking: a dangerous blood clot, circulation already failing, his foot turning blue, then black. Emergency surgery begins almost immediately. 3 intense hours later, surgeons amputate his leg below the knee to save his life. Doctors described it plainly: life or death. Those were the exact words shared publicly afterward. Thomas Jr. later spoke on camera and explained that his father's condition worsened rapidly and that there was simply no other option available.
All right, I do blame Meghan Markle. Meghan Markle, the shit stain of humanity. Yes, Meghan, and I hope you're watching right now. I hope you're watching, Meghan, because you are the shit stain of fucking humanity. You're a disgrace. And I hope people spit in your face when they see you walking down the street. I hope, they throw human feces at you because of how you really are as a person inside.
He said his father's foot turned blue and then black, and everything happened incredibly fast. According to him, the medical team made it clear: delay meant death. So what happened next drew even more attention. A spokesperson told People magazine that Meghan had reached out to her father through a letter described as correspondence delivered through trusted contacts, not a phone call, not a hospital visit. A letter passed along through intermediaries to an elderly man recovering from a major amputation meant to save his life.
Meghan, as we know, is the queen of terrible timing. Anything that she seems to do seems to come with the most appalling timing, whether it's, from leaving the royal family itself into the teeth of COVID, or anything that she does seems to have this incredible failure to think through the context of what she's acting in.
Thomas Jr. spoke again last week and said something that immediately sparked discussion. He called it mind-boggling that his sister could continue daily life without making a direct phone call. He explained that the family's focus now is helping their father adjust to a prosthetic leg and regain independence step by step. Then he added a remark that caught widespread attention. He said he hoped that the next time Meghan encounters a disabled person, she would think real hard.
It's just, mind-boggling how you can just continue to walk through life and not even give the man a phone call and pay for the best medical care that dad needs right now. He's going through therapy, he's going through physical rehab, and we're gonna have to get him fitted for a prosthetic here pretty soon and get that man walking again. So that's the goal, that's the priority, and I'm good doing that. And I hope next time, Meghan, that you see a disabled person or somebody who has only one leg, I hope you think real hard. And I hope karma beats the living Christ out of your mentality. Because God knows, Meghan, God knows. He's got a special place for you right next to that cabinet, when you're not even going to get up there. You're going straight to hell.
Only days later, photographs emerged showing her inside a hospital in Jordan, holding the hand of a young patient she had never met. Here is exactly what happened next at the specialty hospital in Amman. Meghan and Harry visited children who had been medically evacuated from Gaza, children facing real trauma, real loss, and real recovery. No one questions the seriousness of that situation or the suffering those young patients endured.
Harry and Meghan's fake royal tour is backfiring tremendously. We have the footage, as well as the fact that the royal family of Jordan is snubbing them. Just wrapped up their royal tour over in Jordan. Harry and Meghan are there. And as footage is trickling in of them doing their charitable appearances, because as we all know, Harry and Meghan cannot do any charity unless there are cameras there.
These were not staged stories. These were families living through devastating consequences of war and survival. But the moment that sparked the strongest reaction centered on Maria, a 14-year-old girl from Gaza whose life changed forever after an explosion left her with severe burns and the loss of the toes on her right foot. Her injuries were so painful that medical teams often had to change her dressings under anesthesia because the agony was simply too much to bear. Doctors explained that even basic treatment could become overwhelming without strong pain control.
Exclusive is extremely disturbing. Prince Harry and Meghan today visited a Jordanian youth centre run by an NGO whose listed staff had shared posts glorifying Hamas terrorists. Hamas is a designated terrorist organisation who approved this visit, and we know Harry and Meghan are signing up to the hard left playbook.
And at times, anesthesia was not available. That detail alone reveals the level of hardship this young patient experienced. Procedures carried out while enduring extraordinary pain that most people cannot even imagine. Her recovery journey has been long, exhausting, and deeply emotional for everyone involved. During the hospital visit, cameras were already rolling when Maria was asked to show her injuries to Meghan and Harry. Photographers stood nearby. The moment unfolded publicly, not privately, and viewers quickly began discussing what they noticed. Online reactions appeared almost immediately, focusing less on the visit itself and more on how the interaction felt on camera.
Expert Ingrid Seward believes this all could spark some tension behind closed doors. I would think they've had some pretty fiery rows about this topic because it's not at all how Harry wanted to be. They said they were leaving the royal family because they wanted a more private life, and they have created anything but that for themselves. It appears they left family because they wanted a public life and earn money. There must have been some pretty strong agreements over the privacy issue. Harry understands it better than Meghan due to his own experiences as a child. For Markle, public visibility may supposedly feel more natural because she appears to love the Hollywood life and the fame that goes with it.
One widely shared comment read, "Asking an amputee to show their injuries to disaster tourists is in bad taste." The clip captured Meghan's reaction in real time. For a brief second, observers said her expression changed. Not the composed public smile audiences had seen throughout the visit, but something more raw and unexpected. Several viewers described it as visible discomfort, the kind of reaction that slips through before media training has time to step in. Another commenter wrote, "Her eyes show the truth."
They've been snubbed by Jordan's royal family, King Abdullah and his eldest son, who are close with Charles and William, and they have swerved meeting the Sussexes, which makes this visit, this trip to Jordan, just seem even more pointless than it ever was.
That single observation spread quickly across social media discussions. People pointed out the striking timing. While her father was reportedly adjusting to life with a prosthetic leg, she was seated beside a young patient navigating a similar reality thousands of miles away. The contrast became impossible for many observers to ignore. Meanwhile, Thomas Markle Sr. has still never met his grandchildren or Prince Harry. In an interview with the Mail on Sunday, he said he does not want to die separated from his daughter and emphasized that he has never stopped loving her. According to reports, communication between them came through a letter delivered by intermediaries rather than direct contact.
They have literally millions of dollars, are boasting about how they are giving millions of dollars to charity and can't support their own father. It's an impossible. She has got herself into a terrible situation with her father, and leaving out the personal side of it, which I think obviously is very distressing. You know Thomas Markle Sr., so you probably have a different view on that, and I totally defer to you on that. But for me, just looking at it as just an empirical situation, she could not have handled this situation any worse.
The royal dynamics surrounding the visit also drew attention. Queen Rania of Jordan attended the wedding of Prince William, Prince of Wales, and Catherine, Princess of Wales, reflecting long-standing ties between Jordan and the British royal family. King Abdullah II of Jordan has also met King Charles III numerous times in London, reinforcing a relationship built over decades of diplomatic and personal connection. Crown Prince Hussein of Jordan is known to share friendly relations with William, and British royals attended his wedding as honored guests. These connections run deep, ceremonial, political, and personal all at once. Yet during Harry and Meghan's visit, the Jordanian king reportedly held separate meetings, including discussions with Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus of the World Health Organization, without the Sussexes present.
She actually pushes past Prince Harry, the real member of the royal family, to go and meet the corrupted boss of the World Health Organization, Dr. Tedros, before her husband. Watch. She just had to get in first. As Brittany of the Royal News Network posted, it remains completely inappropriate for Meghan to greet the Director General of the World Health Organization before Harry. Harry's father is the only reason they're there at all.
The organization hosting the visit secured royal engagement, but Harry and Meghan themselves did not receive a direct audience with the king. That same week, King Abdullah also met the Indonesian president, demonstrating that his schedule allowed time for major diplomatic meetings, just not one involving the Sussexes. Observers noted another detail as well. Queen Rania did not appear publicly alongside them at any point. No joint photographs, no greeting, no acknowledgement, and no shared engagement appeared during the visit. The only member of the Jordanian royal family who appeared anywhere near Harry and Meghan during the visit was Princess Basma bint Talal, an aunt of the king, who attended just one single engagement with them, one appearance, one brief interaction, and then nothing more. For many observers, that stood out immediately, because in royal diplomacy, presence speaks loudly, but absence can speak even louder.
Right or wrong, I could understand doing this, but Meghan consistently tagging along to all of this as if it's her job too, really just bugs me the wrong way. If Harry wants to go be a diplomat and be a prince, fine. But the way Meghan shoehorns herself into all of these, so this couple seems like some diplomatic power couple, it just rubs me the wrong way.
Some commentators quickly suggested it was simply a scheduling issue, saying the senior royals were busy or tied up with other commitments. But events unfolding during the same trip complicated that explanation. King Abdullah II of Jordan held meetings with global leaders and international officials, including Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus, head of the World Health Organization, connected to the very same WHO visit Harry and Meghan were attending. Yet they were not included in that meeting. Observers interpreted that moment not as coincidence, but as a silent signal. No statement released, no explanation offered, just a decision made without public commentary. In royal circles, silence itself can carry meaning, and many viewers believed that was exactly what happened here. Queen Rania of Jordan is known to have long-standing familiarity with Catherine, Princess of Wales, and understands the deep personal importance Jordan holds for the Wales family.
The Prince, Harry, who has literally the most entitled life in the world, the most spoiled brat in the world who has betrayed his own family, has come to applaud you. You must feel so much better. Now, all of this is still apparently causing some fiery rows with Prince Harry. There's anger between these two, so say experts.
Analysts online pointed out the timing. Harry and Meghan arriving in the region shortly after Prince William, Prince of Wales, completed an official visit to Saudi Arabia, and noted that Queen Rania chose not to publicly engage with them at all. No shared photographs, no welcome moment, only silence. One clip from the trip has circulated widely online and sparked intense discussion. When Harry and Meghan arrived at a WHO roundtable to meet Dr. Tedros, cameras captured Meghan stepping ahead of Harry to greet him first. The moment lasted only seconds, but viewers replayed it repeatedly, analyzing every detail.
Even Harry at this point, given all that he's done and listened to his wife and left the royal family, these appearances and these photo ops, they just aren't right. They aren't royals. They aren't there representing anybody. They aren't a monarchy, right? No one's chosen them. They're their own people that have just whined and left. So as you watch this footage, it's just them walking through this addiction center, overly dressed, making it about them as everyone's hordes around them, as if her getting her water and smiles and yada, yada, yada. It just all feels so fake.
Prince Harry, son of King Charles III, carried the royal connection that made the invitation possible, yet Meghan moved forward before him. Commenters reacted quickly. One wrote, "It remains completely inappropriate for Meghan to greet the Director General before Harry." Another added, "Harry's father is the reason they're there at all." Later, during the same roundtable, another moment drew attention. Harry held a blue card containing prepared remarks, ready to speak, but Meghan took the microphone instead. Viewers studying the footage described Harry's expression as tense, caught somewhere between surprise and quiet resignation.
Harry and Meghan, you know, Archwell Foundation, Archwell Philanthropies, they just shut down that kitchen charity that Meghan worked on in 2018 over in the UK. There's just no consistency here. Harry and Meghan commit to nothing. They pop in for pictures and they leave. What is the value?
Throughout the visit, additional clips showed Meghan reaching for Harry's hand multiple times in public settings. Several viewers claimed they noticed Harry subtly pulling his hand away on more than one occasion. These were not official commentators or royal experts offering analysis, just ordinary viewers watching the footage closely and sharing what they believed they saw unfold in real time. What makes this entire situation even more intense is how differently every moment of the trip was received depending on who was watching. Inside official press coverage, the visit was framed as humanitarian, respectful, carefully organized. But outside that controlled narrative, viewers online began piecing together details frame by frame, and they noticed things that never made it into the headlines. Social media clips started circulating showing small interactions, short pauses, and body language moments that people felt revealed more than any press release ever could. One viewer commented, "You can learn more from 5 seconds of footage than from a full article."
You know, I feel sorry for the king. I don't think he's handling the Andrew crisis very well, but he's a sick man, and he looks a lot sicker due to this. And this will make his life even more stressful, watching his other pariah, or his pariah son, gallivanting, preening himself around Jordan on this weird trip. You know,
no half in, half out.
Yeah.
No half in, half out.
That sentiment spread quickly, turning casual observers into armchair analysts examining every handshake, every glance, every step taken during the visit. The discussion wasn't only about protocol or royal hierarchy. It became about perception, how public figures balance compassion with publicity. Some viewers praised the attention brought to injured children and humanitarian causes, saying visibility matters and that global awareness can lead to real support. Others questioned whether cameras changed the atmosphere of what should have been deeply private medical moments.
There has also been anger overnight over the fact that the British ambassador has seemingly endorsed this visit. According to Taz, posting, "Why the hell is Philip Hall, the British ambassador to Jordan, publicly thanking them?" And this is what he said: "Your visit, your support, your appreciation of the efforts that the United Nations, including, of course, the WHO, the government in Jordan and others are making here is enormously appreciated." Royal Newsnet, with the British ambassador hosting the couple for a reception, is a bad look. He shouldn't be, as they have no connection to the Brits or the British government beyond delusions, which he is not fostering.
One recurring observation focused on how carefully staged many public appearances appeared. Photographers were already positioned before arrivals. Camera angles seemed prepared in advance. Several online commentators argued that the visit felt less spontaneous and more like a planned visual narrative designed for global distribution. One post read, "Nothing about this looked accidental." Whether fair or not, that perception fueled ongoing debate. At the same time, comparisons began emerging between traditional royal visits and independent appearances by Harry and Meghan since stepping away from official duties. Supporters said they were redefining modern humanitarian work, operating outside old royal systems. Critics argued that without formal royal structure, every interaction risked appearing personal rather than institutional, and therefore open to heavier scrutiny.
It's like, Charles, when are you going to act? When are you going to act? I mean, personally, Angela, I believe this was purposeful. I really do. I think they were making a political statement. I really do. And I do. I honestly do. I think they're on the hard left. They're radical leftists. I think they were making a political statement. But either way, it's disastrous because it either shows that they are being totally political, and that is going to bring more and more damage to the British royal family.
Observers also noticed how Prince Harry often appeared quieter during group moments, allowing Meghan to take the lead in conversations and greetings. Some viewers interpreted this as partnership and teamwork. Others read it differently, suggesting tension or discomfort. One widely shared comment simply said, "He looks like he's watching everything unfold instead of driving it." That interpretation spread rapidly, adding another layer to the public conversation. Meanwhile, international audiences paid close attention to how local leaders engaged, or chose not to engage, throughout the visit. In diplomatic environments, symbolism matters. A handshake, a joint appearance, or even shared photographs can signal endorsement. The absence of those gestures became part of the story itself, prompting viewers to ask whether the visit carried the same weight as traditional royal tours. What truly amplified the situation was timing.
Jordan royal family, King Abdullah and his eldest son, who have a close relationship with Charles and William, mind you, they swerved a meeting with the Sussexes. They completely ignored them.
Every image from Jordan appeared online, while conversations about family tensions back in Britain continued to dominate global headlines. The overlap created a powerful narrative contrast. Humanitarian outreach on one side, unresolved personal relationships on the other. And as footage continued spreading across platforms, one thing became clear. People were no longer just watching events unfold. They were interpreting motives, questioning intentions, and forming strong opinions based not on official statements, but on what they believed they could see with their own eyes. One question keeps appearing again and again across comment sections, interviews, and online discussions. And surprisingly, almost nobody is answering it directly. People keep asking how this trip actually worked behind the scenes and who controlled the entire operation from start to finish.
Prince William is just so frustrated by this because now Meghan and Harry are getting all this positive press. Oh, look at the handwritten messages they gave to recovering addicts at the Why are you sharing your messages publicly? Why can't you do anything in private? Why must everything be a "we want privacy" tour while announcing everywhere you go?
The visit was organized under the umbrella of the World Health Organization. But unlike traditional royal tours or open humanitarian visits, media access was tightly managed. Harry and Meghan traveled alongside one carefully selected reporter and one photographer connected to their own team, not an open international press pool. That meant nearly every image released came through a controlled lens rather than independent coverage. Observers quickly noticed another familiar face appearing repeatedly in photos. Former staff member James Holt, positioned nearby, documenting the visit from multiple angles. Viewers pointed out that almost every published photograph centered primarily on Meghan, with framing that highlighted her reactions, movements, and interactions above everything else. Nothing appeared random. Everything looked curated.
She loves that because anything Harry, or rather William and Kate, does, they can do better. So William was in the Middle East only 2 weeks ago. Suddenly, Harry and Meghan are in the Middle East.
Reports suggested that the Archewell Foundation contributed roughly $500,000 toward projects connected to humanitarian work in Jordan. Large donations like that often lead to what organizations call donor stewardship visits, opportunities for contributors to witness programs firsthand and connect directly with beneficiaries. On paper, that explanation makes sense. But another question immediately followed. Who funded the rest of the trip? People began asking about flights, security teams, hotels, transportation, production staff, wardrobe changes, and the overall logistics required for such a high-profile visit. These details rarely appear in headlines, yet they represent the largest costs behind any international appearance. Online viewers noted the contrast with earlier reports that the Sussexes had downsized operations after restructuring their foundation. The original Archewell structure reportedly reduced staff and shifted direction after facing heavy financial demands.
Explain that Harry and Meghan are not working royals and do not represent the British government or UK PLC. He added, given their capacity to say unhelpful things which border on political, giving them an official platform could be construed as them saying something that represents official UK policy. 100%. Something could absolutely be misconstrued.
Projects previously promoted in the United Kingdom quietly concluded, making the scale of the Jordan visit, complete with motorcades, police protection, and coordinated media coverage, stand out even more. Many observers summed it up with one simple question. Someone had to pay for all of this. Two additional moments from the trip received far less attention than expected. First, Peter Hall, the British ambassador to Jordan, not only welcomed Harry and Meghan publicly, but hosted them at his official residence. During that reception, they were introduced using their full royal titles, HRH, Prince Harry, Duke of Sussex, and HRH Meghan, Duchess of Sussex. That detail caught the attention of political commentators because earlier palace agreements stated those HRH titles would not be used commercially after they stepped back from official royal duties. Former Minister Tom Tugendatopenly questioned whether private citizens should be hosted at an ambassador's official residence under royal styling. His point echoed across discussions. What message does that send internationally? For many watching, the reception suggested that regardless of internal palace arrangements, parts of the British establishment still interact with Harry and Meghan as members of the royal framework. Analysts argued that such symbolism ultimately reflects decisions connected to King Charles III, rather than individual diplomats on the ground. The second underreported moment came on day 2 of the visit, when Harry and Meghan toured the King Hussein Cancer Center, one of the region's leading treatment facilities.
That her father was in some way abusive towards her, excusing her decision to become estranged from him while leaving him unable to respond from beyond the grave. Now, in a conversation with the journalist Rob Shooter of Shooter Scoop, they say that this is something that has been talked about for some time behind the scenes, and that's why they've put it into the public domain to try and protect Thomas and to suggest that Thomas gets his story straight before his death. Now, in fairness, Lady C, as far as I'm aware, Meghan has never suggested anything of the sort.
The timing drew attention because both King Charles and Catherine, Princess of Wales, have faced cancer diagnoses in recent years, with Catherine now reported to be in remission. Observers noticed that despite visiting a cancer treatment center, no public remarks were directed toward either royal family member during the appearance. That silence became another talking point online, adding yet another layer of debate to a trip already filled with symbolism, questions, and intense public scrutiny. No mention of King Charles III, no mention of Catherine, Princess of Wales, just the cameras rolling, the carefully controlled reporter, and the handwritten notes pinned to a wall like evidence of a story carefully curated for public consumption. Every frame, every shot, meticulously planned, leaving viewers with only what someone wanted them to see. Meanwhile, Thomas Markle Sr. is in the Philippines, living through something life-altering every single day. He is learning to walk again, adjusting to a prosthetic leg, facing physical pain and mental strain most of us could never imagine.
It's confusing. Jordan tour saw Meghan trying to cosplay and dress like Angelina Jolie. And there are a couple of moments where they're are comparisons there. There's Angelina Jolie playing soccer just like Meghan did. I do think she's been on the Google. But of course, the crazed stunts were back as well. This from Tom of the Royalist Substack. Meghan Markle dispensed affirmation today as she and Prince Harry concluded their Jordan tour by pinning handwritten notes to a wall at a rehab centre in Amman, while sharp-eyed observers noted she was dressed just like Jolie was on a similar trip in 2003.
And his daughter. Instead of being there in person when it mattered most, she sent him a letter through intermediaries, trusted contacts, a message passed along like it was a formal business communication, not a call to her father in a life-or-death recovery moment. Then, almost immediately after, she flew thousands of miles to Jordan, walked into a hospital, and sat at the bedside of a young child amputee. Every single movement captured by cameras, every single second documented, every hand held, every glance recorded. Meanwhile, Queen Rania of Jordan, a woman who witnesses genuine compassion every day in Catherine, Princess of Wales, chose not to appear. She knew the optics, she knew the story, and she stayed silent. Some silences speak louder than words. Thomas Markle Jr. expressed it bluntly on camera. He hopes karma eventually catches up with his sister's mentality. The word spread quickly, igniting discussions across social media, debates in comment sections, and conversations in living rooms around the world. After everything that happened in Jordan this week, one question resonates above all else. Do the public actions of a person reveal who they truly are? Can gestures, appearances, and the choices captured on camera tell the real story behind the headlines? The answer is up to you. Drop your thoughts below. Every single comment is read, and today, your voice is part of the conversation. This isn't about spin. This isn't about headlines or polished PR statements. It's about the timeline, the raw footage, and the moments mainstream media hopes everyone forgets. From letters delivered through intermediaries to silent absences and staged interactions, the truth of the situation is layered and undeniable. If this story gave you insight, if you want to see every piece of the timeline unfold, and if you're following the drama and controversies of the royals in real time, make sure to like the video, share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to Crown Clash, because every single day, I drop a brand new video breaking down the latest events, the controversies, and everything the mainstream outlets might try to hide. See you in the next one.